What if I told you that you don't hate English? You hate the pressure to learn it perfectly, the feeling of being stuck. You study, you watch videos, you promise yourself you'll be consistent. But you're busy, you're tired, and English started to feel like a second job. So when a real conversation happens, your mind goes totally blank, and that feeling is so frustrating. I know, because I've been there too. So in today's video, guys, I'm gonna show you exactly what to do when English feels so heavy, how to practice in a way that fits your real life, even if you are super busy, and how to finally start speaking without freezing. Thank you so much for watching Wanna Speak by Veronique. My name is Veronica. I am from Poland. Apart from my native language, I speak English and Spanish fluently. I'm also a digital nomad, meaning I travel full time, and I'm sending you my love from Brazil today. On this channel, we learn smarter, not harder. We live English. Before I show you how to stop hating English, I need you to find your why. Why are you learning English? And the answer, I want to be fluent, is not enough. You need a very strong reason. For example, because I want to make more money. I want to travel the world. I want to talk to native speakers because I live in the US. Now, when you know exactly why you are learning this language, we need to make it even more specific. So use this formula. In the next 30 days, I want to be able to make a small talk with native speakers in the US, or make $2,000 using English. That's it. And now we're gonna make it realistic. So the first thing you wanna do is to make English too easy to skip, impossible to avoid. Most people don't fail because they are lazy. They actually fail because English has no place in their day. So here's what you need, and it's simple. A tiny action and a fixed time. Something that you do every single day. Your morning coffee, brushing your teeth, commuting, lunch break, shower, closing your laptop after work. And the second step here is using this formula. After I will for 2 minutes. After I make coffee in the morning, I speak English to myself for 2 minutes. After I brush my teeth, I record one video in English of myself speaking for 2 minutes. After my workout, I read 2 pages of that book in English. That's called habit stacking. You don't have to remember, because these 2 actions are connected. One more habit that can help you a ton is making it visible. For example, you put some sticky notes around your house. The first thing that you do in the morning is going to your bathroom, right? So on your mirror, there is a sticky note reminding you of something in English, maybe some useful phrases. Maybe this sticky note is telling you, hey, listen to a podcast while making breakfast. These very simple things remove the friction. They remove the cognitive overload. You don't have to think about it because it becomes automatic. And the most important thing here, it doesn't have to be difficult. It can't be difficult, actually. It has to be doable. It has to be something that you're gonna do no matter what. The result is gonna build over time, because as James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, says, 1% better every single day. So you don't have to study 4 hours. You don't have to learn endless vocabulary lists. Forget about that. 2 minutes is better than nothing. And now, this 2-minute system is how you stay consistent. It's extremely important, but it doesn't solve one thing: real conversations with real people, real speaking practice. And this is where Lingoda helps me a lot. Lingoda is an online language learning school where you can take small group live classes with native level teachers and native speakers. So you can train your speaking skills in real time with real people. You get personalized feedback and guidance from the teacher in every lesson.
Everyone spoke really clearly. I understood everything.
For me, this is what made me improve the fastest, because it's focused on real communication, not just boring theory. I feel that it's a safe space for learning any language. I always felt supported, that I'm not alone on this language learning journey, and I always felt surrounded by like-minded people. I can book classes 24/7, so it fits my busy routine even when I travel or work a lot. And it's not random lessons. There is a structured curriculum, so you know what you're working on and you can see your progress over time. What I love is that Lingoda is 100% human, so I can connect with people and maybe even make some new friends. And I lived in Manchester actually. I think, like Elena said, that the accent in Manchester is really strong. First months were really terrifying because I didn't understand anything. Plus, Lingoda also has a self-study area, so you can practice after the lessons at your own pace. If this is something you'd like to try, use my code Veronic30 for up to 30% off Lingoda Flex. The link is in the description down below, but this deal ends on February 24th, so don't miss it. Okay guys, let's move on to the next thing you want to do to stop hating English. Make learning stupid simple. Now that you've attached English to your one small daily action, the next practical question is what you actually do in those 2 minutes so you don't waste your time, but at the same time, you don't overwhelm yourself. My suggestion is don't practice random topics because you're gonna be super lost. If today you learn about vocabulary in a coffee shop, tomorrow you learn about business, and the day after tomorrow, you learn about travel. Pick one, just one real life situation that's gonna be useful in your life and repeat it for 7 days. This can be literally any situation, but it has to be important to you. Let's take me as an example. I'm a digital nomad, I'm a YouTuber, I work online, I travel the world, I love psychology, self-improvement, and suddenly if I'm gonna sit and study vocabulary about cars, I'm gonna quit in 30 seconds. If you pick one situation and stick to it for 7 days, by day 5, your brain will stop panicking because it's gonna feel familiar already. Let's say that your weekly topic is a small talk, very useful if you live in the US. For 2 minutes, you're gonna learn only 5 phrases. And now, where do you take them from? You can Google them, or you can watch something or listen to something that you do anyway, right? In English, we watch YouTube or social media all the time. So you pick from 3 to 5 phrases. Then you say them out loud, and then you grab your cell phone and you record a 20-second voice note using these phrases. That's it. This is your 2-minute practice. For example, after making yourself your morning coffee. I know this sounds small and tiny, but that's the whole point. If you can stick to it, even on your busiest days, it means it works. Can you see this mindset shift that you stopped studying and you started living this language because it's actually one with your daily routine? My next tip to stop hating English is actually playing with it. I'm dead serious. Play with it. If English feels boring, almost as if you were at school again, your brain is gonna check out. You're gonna be like, you know what? Screw it. So change the way you practice. Play with it. And now the sky is the limit. You have to get creative here. For example, if you like video games, why don't you play video games in English? If you like to binge watch movies and shows on Netflix, do it always in English and then shadow native speakers, meaning repeat after them. If you, like me, are into psychology and self-development, why don't you consume content only in English on YouTube? There are fantastic coaches, mentors, doctors that share their knowledge. I always shadow them.
Double the amount I'm making.
No, he's making double the amount I'm making. I make notes, I journal. So you see, I make it fun for myself and I adjust it to my life. I always try to speak English to people, even when they don't speak English to me. For example, right now I'm in Brazil and I'm in a city called Curitiba. I start to speak English to a person and they respond to me in Brazilian Portuguese. And I'm like, okay, I got it. I have to learn Portuguese right now. Or you can play with the ways you practice. So let's say that we stick to this weekly topic. a small talk. You can watch some American movie or a show or a YouTube video, and I bet they're gonna use some small talk. So you copy one line. For example, how's your week going so far? And you repeat this phrase many, many times. How's your week going so far? How's your week going so far? How's your week going so far? And then you think about the possible answers you could give. For example, it's been going great, thank you. Or, it's a bit tough, I have a lot of work, I'm really busy, but I'm not complaining, or something like this. Remember, it's a small talk. For example, I'm from Eastern Europe, and when somebody's asking me that question, I'm gonna tell them the truth. That, for example, today I feel like shit. In America, you don't really do that, right? You say, I can't complain, or everything's fine. That's a bit fake to me. Well, to you maybe as well, but this is how the culture works. We kind of like have to adapt, but I still try to be myself, even when I make a small talk with a native speaker. My approach is I'm just not giving so many details on my personal life. I recorded this video on small talk if you want to check it out after watching this one. The next way to practice that I find super fun is to talk to myself. Literally, I'm going around my apartment, my Airbnb, and I talk to myself. Maybe you're gonna think that I'm crazy, but I'm actually not, I guess. I'm just talking to myself in English or in Spanish to practice. For example, I go around, I clean, or I do something and I describe what I'm doing, what I'm gonna do next, or what am I gonna cook. You know what, guys? Let me show you something. Here I have something really unusual. I told you that I'm in Brazil, right? So look at this. Can you guess what this is? This is a cocoa bean. A cocoa bean. This is what chocolate is made from. So I already cut it, and this is what it looks like inside. These are cocoa like seeds. I'm not sure you're gonna see it, but here inside it's literally cocoa, like chocolate. Today I had an idea that why don't I do something with this? Because when you bite it, it's really bitter and sour. It's not really good like this. But I was like, why don't I try to melt it and make hot chocolate? And I asked ChatGPT, and it's actually possible. My point is, I was talking to myself in English about how I'm gonna do it, how I'm gonna create melted chocolate from a raw cocoa bean. You have to adjust it to your daily routine, to your life. The more it's gonna be about you, the more emotional connection you're gonna have with English, the faster you're gonna improve. I know this is a completely different approach than we had at school. When we were learning English at school, everything was so serious. We needed to, sit and be perfect, don't make any mistakes, all right? What I'm suggesting here is completely different, but try it for yourself and tell me in the comments in a couple of weeks if it worked. English doesn't need more time. It needs an actual place in your life. And the last very practical thing, watch your cognitive overload, meaning don't overwhelm yourself with spaced repetition. If you try to memorize 200 words a day, your brain gets overwhelmed and you quit. So my suggestion is to learn less and repeat it with space. This is called the space repetition method. To keep it simple, you learn 5 phrases in one situation. We already did that. We already picked these phrases, right? 5 phrases for a small talk. That was my example. And then you learn these 5 phrases on day 1. On day 2, you repeat them out loud. On day 3, you do nothing with these 5 phrases. Of course, you can listen or watch or everything that I talked about before. On day 4, you come back to these 5 phrases and you repeat them again. On day 5 and 6, you do nothing with these phrases, and on day 7, you quickly review them to check if you remember them. This is how you don't overwhelm your brain. This is how you can learn less but more effectively. This is how you remember useful English phrases without stress. Because sometimes less is more. Thank you so much for watching this video. I would like to know your opinion, your thoughts, your reflections. Leave them in the comments. I love to chat with you guys. If you'd like to give Lingoda a try, the link is in the description. Remember to use my code for the maximum benefit. You can follow me on Instagram for daily content. See you in my next one next week. Take care.